matters most to customers in earning their loyalty? Thanks, Anastasia.
So for anyone that's seen our report already, earlier this year, we did produce a report on really what is driving customer loyalty. And there was some really quite eye-opening aspects of that. So what we did see first and foremost, beyond loyalty programs, beyond everything else, customer loyalty is really based on that emotional connection with a brand. And it does vary by categories, grocery category, much more transactional, in the fashion category, much more emotional behavior. But what we saw is that these brands that can create a fantastic emotional experience with their customers really do create these loyal customers. Now, one of the things that really we did see when we looked at all of these studies together was there is this gap that basically says, well, customers are loyal to the brand, then they might get to the physical in-store experience, and then that brand is not executed. Those brand emotions are not executed in that physical point of contact. Some of the previous research we did about consumer sentiment as well showed that consumers were actually 1 in 3 were going into a retail store more frequently now than they were before, because they actually wanted to engage with staff. They wanted to have that human interaction. So what we can see is this is all driven by these emotions. Now, this does differ by category. It does differ by what they're purchasing, and it also differs by consumer segment. We do have some consumers very highly emotional, very highly engaged with staff. We have some consumer segments very much driven by data and do very much like to self-service. But as a broader look at the whole market, we do see that these emotions are at the forefront of driving. So we want to make sure that this is at all customer touch points in the journey, and in particular that when they do get into the store and they do want to engage with staff, they still have this great, fantastic emotional experience. So what else did the study show as well? The 4 key aspects that really do drive this customer loyalty was, well, first and foremost, trust in the brand. And this trust in the brand was something that has changed in the last 12 months. As consumer sentiment has declined, as discretionary spending has declined, consumers are actually leaning much more towards brands that they trust. We're looking for brands that are reliable, that they know that when they do spend their hard-earned cash, they're going to get what they want. So we actually saw that this loyalty really strongly links to how much that they are trusting the brand. We also saw that emotional connection that I've talked about is one of the layers of customer loyalty. We did see that this consistent and reliable customer service does actually have an effect. We saw a stat, I believe it was, we'll touch on it later, about 24% of customers actually say that if they have a bad in-store service with a member of staff, that will lose their loyalty and they will go to another retailer. And what we also saw in the loyalty study is that product is actually much less of a differentiator than the experience. So we've got to make sure that all these 3 points in that customer experience are aligned to really create that emotional connection.